How's it going, guys? Welcome to Audio Addiction. We have Redhook all the way from Australia. Love to see it, but obviously she can say her name and what she does in the band.
Yo, what's up? My name is Emmy, and I do the wailing in Redhook.
I love that. That perfectly surmises it. So that's awesome. But I am very excited to have Redhook on. I actually have a touring mate that you guys are going to be going out on tour with Bellhaven on not too long ago, and they were just
Oh,
singing your praises. So I feel like it was almost fate as if I had to have you on the channel as well. So very excited. And I have listened to both Postcard and Imposter, and I gotta say, 10 out of 10, like great
oh
tracks.
man.
I was super stoked. I didn't know what to kind of get into, but I feel like after experiencing both of those, I'm very excited to listen to the full album. By the time this is out, this will already be so go check out the live review. It'll be great. I'm gonna have a great time doing it, but um Emmy, I have to ask, I'm sure you get asked this a lot as well. How did Redhook start out? What is like the origin story of the band? Because I'm a nerd. I love like music stuff. And so for me, I always love to hear the story behind like how a band formulates, like what was kind of, who was the catalyst to start the band and start Redhook?
Yeah, our origin story is a bit weird. So Redhook kind of like grew out of the ashes of my old 80s inspired hair metal band. Um,
What?
and
Wow.
yeah,
All right.
so I was playing in like a 80s cock rock band. I grew up just wanting to be Axl Rose and just thinking any music that didn't have like a guitar solo was lame. And then we played. It was really weird. Technically, the first show that Red Hook ever played was supporting Motley Crue in Australia, because that was like, because my old band was supposed to play the show and our bloody guitarist left, and he was just like this crazy shredder, and nobody else, like we couldn't find anybody else that could play his parts. So we were like, okay, all right, I think I need to rethink this band. And then it was just this weird process, like the time between that and then Red Hook releasing our debut single Minute on Fire was like several years of just me figuring my shit out and trying to figure out what kind of music I wanted to
Sure.
play and like evolving and all that stuff. But yeah, and then the way that sort of the boys like came into it, because I started with a completely different lineup,
Mhm.
and then it was kind of like, it's very this is a really lame metaphor to use, it's like so
It's
cheesy,
alright. I
but
love a
to
cheese. It's
me
good. Yeah.
it's it's very like, it's very Wizard of Oz. Like it's like this elaborate quest, and then I feel like Red Hook didn't actually become Red Hook until I met Craig and we started writing together and he sort of came into the fold. That's when, so he's like, I was like, I'm Dorothy. He's like, the
The Tin
straw
Man.
man.
Yeah. Yeah, oh, yeah.
And then like, yeah, and then and then Alex came along, and then Ned came along, and now we're all just on this yellow brick quest for a brain or to play music. But yeah, that's kind of the story. It's a bit of a weird one, but
No, that's
that's
great.
me.
I would have never guessed hair metal band to start off the to just start off the catalyst for Redhook like that. Wasn't on my
Yeah.
bingo card for Redhook,
The bigger
so, but I do love that I do love that you don't really hold any bars. Like I felt like when I was listening to Red Hook stuff, it just like right out the gate in your face. Like, and I love that you take that sort of like hair metal mentality of like, I don't give a shit. We're just gonna do what we want, and that's awesome. We don't take any
Yeah.
prisoners, and I think that's like the best. I think that's the best way I can elate it to someone else that hasn't heard of Red Hook. I just feel like they're just like they'll instead of like walking through the door, they'll just kick the door down and not ask any favors.
Mhm.
They're just like
I
quintessential
love
rock
that.
band. You know.
I love that description. I struggle to explain what Red Hook is to people who haven't heard us before. It's kind of like, you just kind of got to hear it. But I love
It's
that,
true.
and I love that you mentioned Postcard before, and that was like a big moment for me because it's the first time on like a Red Hook song that I've actually. There's a couple of songs on the album where I got to like unleash a little bit of my like, OG
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
hair metal wailing, and Postcard was one of those songs I got to like blues it up, so that was fucking fun.
That's
I'm
that
so
was
excited to play that
that
song
was my
live.
comment on Postcard, which I'm excited for you to watch because I was just like, I just love the sort of grit that you bring to your vocals. Like I felt with Imposter, I was like, it's a little more pristine, you know. It's like if
Very,
you
very clean
in
imposter, very
terms of the singles that I've heard, I was like this seems like one of the best singles you can release because it does have that sort of melodicness to it. There's a little grit, but I feel like if you really want to get into the weeds, Postcard is the one to listen to because A, it's the first song on the album, so you gotta have to listen to the rest of it. You're legally obligated to go through the entire journey of the album. And then as well as that, I think it gives a very good like at least from my perspective, I'll be doing it live, so I'll let you know post tense on what
I'm
I think
so
about it.
excited.
But
That sounds so
I
sick.
I feel like it has this sort of like I just love how you start out the gate with aggression. It's just like you get thrown right into it. And I love when bands do that. They didn't take a second to give you a moment to breathe. They just throw you right into it. That's like the
Hit
best
people
thing.
in the
You just
face with
slap me in
that
the
stuff.
face. Emmy just slapped me in the face, and then I'm still here. But I'm a little beat up. I'm a little a little roughed up.
It was completely consensual, so it's
It
fine.
was completely yes. I want to say that I consented to getting slapped around a little bit. So just in case anybody wants to take that out of context, it's not. But
Yes.
it was this really cool vibe. I think with Postcard, I got more of like the emo and the almost like post hardcore sort of sound that you're bringing. The band that I think that you resonated a lot with me with, which was one of the first bands that got me into the scene, was Pierce the Veil. So I feel like you kind of bring that sort of
Uh-huh.
like Pierce the Veil, like emo, like post hard, like
Dude,
Chef's Kiss
we
that I love.
love Pierce the Veil. God, like
Oh,
their
okay.
new album.
I want
Ah,
to say I called it, but I may have called it a little bit. So I
oh yeah,
I think that the bands that I think that you guys kind of resonate to me, Pierce the Veil, like Bring Me the Horizon.
yeah.
And then I would say like a third one. I know you did a collaboration with yours truly, but I also feel like they're kind of in the same mix, or maybe possibly like a Stand Atlantic. That sort of. I feel like those four bands. I think those are the ones. If
You
I
just
had
named
to,
four of my favorite bands.
oh,
They're
four
fucking
for four,
amazing.
baby.
But, like, that's what I love. I love one thing about all of those bands that I love, and particularly, like, I mean, Bring Me and Stat, and then yeah, and like, I mean, yours truly as well. Like, I love how they're making heavy music, but they don't give a fuck about the rules. Like, they don't give a
Yeah, yeah,
fuck
yeah.
about like the rules. There are no fucking rules. Like,
There
we
are
know there are
none.
no
Yeah.
rules, and that's something that I love so much. It's like this innovation. Like, they're not afraid to take risks and try new things, and even if it pisses people off. And I love that. I love
Yeah.
that, and that's something that we really, really strive to do with Redhook as well, because we don't want to get bored. Like, we don't want to play like the same song, like write the same song over and
Yeah.
over again. Like, we want to excite ourselves, and just hope that by extension that excites other people. So
You don't want to
yeah,
box yourself in, and I think that
totally.
I think for me it's like that was kind of the most refreshing thing about Red Hook was just like diving into it and just kind of hearing the kind of different sounds and vibes that you bring. There are some moments where I was just like, vibing and dancing out and it had more of that sort of pop feel to it. And then there were some moments where I just wanted to just like bang my head and just like rock out. So I think
Holes
you
in the walls.
holes in the walls. My roommates and my landlord would probably not be happy if I did punch holes through the walls, so I'm not gonna do that. That's
Yeah,
don't
don't
that
send
is
us the
not a
bill.
good thing. But I do feel like you guys encapsulate that sort of energy that not only pop brings but also like heavier music brings, and I would definitely recommend if you haven't checked out Red Hook to go do it. They're fantastic, but might as well get it straight from Emmy. Emmy, for people who maybe aren't familiar with Red Hook and they wind up checking this interview out, what song would you recommend to a new listener to check out first to give them an idea of your sound?
Ooh, I mean, yeah, like it depends like what your biggest jam is. If you like the heavy shit, then check out, I would say, maybe Off With Your Head or
Oh,
Psych vs. Psych on the record. They're like probably the heaviest songs.
okay.
If you like yourself a little bit of pop punk, then Soju or Imposter. Um, yeah, my favorite song on the album, I've probably got two.
Okay.
Like I think if you like, I think they both kind of straddle that ground between like sort of heavy and like with that pop
Mhm.
sensibility, and also like the lyrics just mean a fucking lot to me. Jabberwocky and
Oh, okay.
yeah, yeah, Jabby's. I think Jabby's a good one. It's not so aggressive that like normies will be like, my ears are bleeding, but it's still like it's heavy, but there's still a lot of melody and a lot of heart in that song. So that's yeah. I
I
know
like
it's
that.
weird. It's the risk, right? When you sort of we cast such a wide net and we push the boundaries in
Yeah.
so many different directions with the style, you run the risk that not everyone's going to like everything. But I mean, we're just in the business of trying to write good songs, regardless of I guess the kind of genre umbrella that they fall under. So
Yeah.
hopefully you dig what's there.
No, I agree. I think that, and I also feel like a lot of artists right now, or at least fans of artists, I think have more of a variety of the type of music that they listen to. Like, I
Totally.
would say within the past couple of years, like it's just there's just been this like almost like pushing down at gates to like mesh different genres together, and people are like cool with that. Like I can imagine, like, and again,
Totally.
this is gonna age me very poorly, but there was times where people would be like, yeah, pop music, I don't like pop music. Pop music's not my thing. I'm not really feeling it. And now, like, and I can fully admit I used to be one of those people, and now I love pop
Me
music.
too.
And now I
Dude, I
can't
know. I was like, guitar solos, like, it
it's
doesn't have a guitar solo, I'm not interested. But yeah, dude, like, there's so much amazing pop music coming out now. And like, I prefer heavy music, but I love it when you mix the pop with the heavy. Like,
oh,
it's a good time.
yeah, it's like getting the best of both worlds. You want that like sing along chorus that everybody can vibe out to, and then you want to have that moment where you can like mosh in your car or like in your room by yourself. It's great. Those are good feelings. So I think that you guys collectively do a great job of having those hooks where you feel like you can sing along in those moments, but also like having those really heavy moments that really stick with you. So I like I said, the two songs I've listened to thus far, I've really enjoyed. But I'm excited to just dive into it more. Obviously, guys, the new album is called Postcards from a Living Hell. It's out now, so go pick it up. They have vinyl, which they're speaking my language of love, so I'm gonna have to go grab
Yay! It's
one.
my first time ever doing vinyl. I'm so excited.
I'm very excited to buy it because not only are you feeding my addiction to continue to buy albums, but I feel like if I can support the Australian fam, I'm gonna do it. So love it. But Emmy, obviously, I have to ask since we're recording this on the day the album is coming out. How does that feel for you? Because I feel like you guys,
Oh,
it must have been a long journey to release an album. I also feel like people's attention spans have drastically shrunken. So how do you feel? How do you feel that it's finally out and people have listened to it somewhat? Obviously, it's very early on Friday for you guys, but
yeah.
how do you feel having it out and people can listen to it
Oh,
now?
It's I mean, I'm struggling for the words. It's been like right now in Australia, it's like 10 to 12 in the morning. And it's just been such a whirlwind. It's been so crazy. Like, I mean, I feel like with any release, but particularly with this release, like you never feel ready. You never feel
Sure.
like you've done enough. You never feel like, even though it's taken us so long to do this, it still feels like, it's still second guessing it. We're like, oh, it was like, we're doing this
We could have
tomorrow.
done
We're
this. We should have done this.
doing
Yeah.
like bring on. It's like, because especially because we're an unsigned band, like we're still independent. So it's like, a big roll of the dice,
Yeah. Yeah.
big putting on the big boy pants and doing the debut album all by our little selves. But honestly, like the reception so far has just blown me away. Like I'm like trying not to get like anxiety because of just like how just all of the love coming in from so many
Yeah,
directions, and I
yeah.
just feel so overwhelmed and so stoked. And we've got so much, like, so much amazing news has come through already that we're really excited to announce, like, over the next couple of days, um to do with the album and tour dates and stuff like that. So yeah, it's amazing, and I'm so happy and so grateful to everyone who's taken the time to listen to even just like any song on the album or the full album, or just it's yeah. I'm rambling. I'm
No, no,
rambling.
no, this is great.
Just,
I feel like
I'm so overwhelmed.
I feel like it's tough, you know. I like just I think bands in general, like I got to give you guys a lot of credit because I think artists in general, like when you release an album, that's difficult. The funding for it, like trying to figure out what works, like on the album, like the rollout of it. It's just a lot that goes into it, and doing this for like 7 years of my life, like I know what it's like. I am not in a band or in any sort of project, but I see albums get rolled out, I get press about it, stuff like that. And I just got to give a lot of credits to like the teams that are behind, like whoever rolls out the albums and like tries to push it out there, because it's difficult. There's so many artists that come out and there's so many releases, and I think it's hard to cycle through. So I hope that people watch my stuff and help I can navigate some of those things. And I feel like for me, like if there's any selling point to check out Red Hook, I think if you love great hooks, no pun intended, and you love great like heaviness, then this is absolutely the band for you. I like I said, I've only garnered that from 2 songs, so I feel like if I can say that much for 2 songs, I can almost be guaranteed the album is just as good. So go, please go support it. Go pick it up if you can. That would be the best way to support them. And also, if you live in Australia, which I don't, sadly, I'm gonna set out a tier for me. But hopefully one day. But you should go out and see Red Hook on tour because it's gonna be awesome. And I'm gonna just be really sad if if I can't physically be there. I would hope that you'd physically be there in my honor, So if you could do that, that'd be great. Just stand in for me, That'd be awesome. But I'm very excited, and obviously they're gonna be hitting like a large majority of Australia. So I'm very excited for all of my Australian friends. So go out and see them. They're sick. Um,
You.
but the next question I have for you, Emmy, is who got you started out in music? I know you mentioned that you used to start in more of a hair metal styling of music. So who was the first artist that really got you into music? You were like, you saw them on TV, or you like heard an album, you're like, I want to do that. That sounds sick. Like who were
Um,
some of those artists that got you really hyped to be a musician?
you're gonna think I'm so lame,
Oh
but
no, no. I
just
listen. We don't think anybody's lame here on the channels. If anything, I'm probably lame. So,
I think it would have to be, honestly, probably Guns N' Roses for me. Like,
oh
I was
no,
obsessed
that's a great pick.
when
I
I
love
was
that.
when I was in
Kudos.
school. Like, all my friends were going through the emo phase, and I was like wearing tight leather pants and just like teasing my hair,
Hell
and
yeah.
and there was like, I remember the moment when I decided that I wanted to be a musician. It was like my high school, like, sort of graduation assembly, and me and a bunch of my mates from, like, the music class dressed up as Guns N' Roses and played Sweet Child of Mine, and everyone,
Ah,
'cause I went to like a Catholic school, so it was like pretty tame. But then everyone in our like year group like just got up and started moshing, and I like threw my sunglasses into the crowd, and I was like, "This is sick! Like, I want to do this."
yeah, oh yeah,
Like,
absolutely, yeah.
for a university degree, like, but yeah, it would have to, yeah, probably Guns N' Roses would be the big one.
I feel the same way. I'll also tack on to that. That was one of the earlier artists I listened to. My parents are like into classic rock, but I've told this story here on the channel on a few occasions. But when I learned how to play guitar, my first guitar teacher was one of my dad's like workers. He used to be like he used to be in bands and stuff, and he was that like atypical 80s like hair metal guy who'd wear like the cut off like white shirt and
Oh
he'd have
yeah.
long blonde hair, you know. He came in and he had like I'll never forget it. He brought in his like Mesa Boogie like dual rectifier like solid state amp, and he had like emerald green like PRS, and I was like, what is that? That thing's so sick. And then he started playing some like Guns N' Roses, and I was like, oh, I love that band. That's sick. So I've that is not a cheesy answer. That one, that's great. I think that that one's on point. You know,
Oh,
so
thank
I
thank
love that.
you for making me feel like less of a loser. No, I love it. I still love Guns N' Roses. I will never stop loving Guns N' Roses.
Oh, they're fantastic, you know. So I gotta, and also just shout outs to Icon Slash. You know, he's
Oh,
just he's great. You know, lovely guy.
dude.
I haven't met him, but I assume he's very nice. I don't know. Slash, let me know if you're nice in the comments. That'd be cool. I know you
Yeah,
watch my stuff.
slash
Yeah, just let us
like
know.
and subscribe slash.
The next question, Emmy, who are some of your more current influences? Who kind of styles, not only your vocal styling, but just kind of Red Hook as a whole?
Yeah, well, I mean, we sort of take our influences from all kinds of different places,
Hmm.
and I'm sure that'll be very evident for you when you listen to the album. But honestly, all those bands that you mentioned before, like Stand Atlantic, Bring Me the Horizon in particular, like I love how every time they release a song, you just don't know what to expect.
Yeah,
You don't
yeah,
know
yeah.
what it's like, and I love that. I'm obsessed with that. I love that they just keep, they're almost like, they're just so dedicated to like innovating and just continuing to surprise people. And yeah, I'm so obsessed with that. I love, like, I'm a really big fan of like, it was like alt pop artists like 21 Pilots and
Ooh,
like Billie Eilish, just
okay.
like cool, like just great songwriting, just like really good songwriting that's surprising, doesn't play by the rules, like strong hooks, like cool lyrics. The biggest thing for me, as well as just like, I mean, like good songwriting, is artists who like have something to say
Sure,
with their
yeah.
lyrics. And I mean, and that's why I love Stan Atlantic so much. Like Bonnie is such a fucking cool lyricist.
Oh, yeah.
I love the shit that comes out of that woman's brain. Like it's so
Yeah.
good.
I have been listening
Yeah.
to Fear so much. It's so good. I
Oh,
like bump
what
that
an
shit in the
album, man.
office. Oh,
What an
10
album.
out of 10. Great stuff. Check out, I'm just hoping, I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. I hope a Stand Atlantic Red Hook, US tour, if you want to, that would be kind of
Oh, I would
sick,
love
just,
to, man. We're going with them to the UK in a couple of months, which I'm so excited for.
oh, man.
Would love to come to the US. The only like the thing with you guys is your fucking working visa laws, man. Like they're so expensive, and we're a little unsigned band. Like
Yeah.
we're gonna get there one day. It's just like because it's so expensive, it's a huge investment. So we need to make sure that we're not, fucking ourselves. Like going over there.
I
But we
do
love
like it.
them
I
so
like how Emmy put this on me. She's like, you're the one who's stopping us from.
much. Oh man. Right to the fucking Department of Homeland
I
Security and
felt
tell them
very,
to get their shit together.
I felt very attacked. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, man, damn. Like Emmy is just like coming at me
I'm
like this.
just attacked by Emmy Mac. I'm sorry.
No, it's all
Not
good.
anyone.
I know it wasn't actually at me. It was very, very, very poignant and very direct. So I like that. Obviously it reflects very much in the music, and I'm glad that it also reflects in your daily life. So, but I do feel like I have to agree, as being an American, it is incredibly difficult for touring bands, especially from outside the country, to come in. So if we
Mm,
could fix that, that'd be really sick, because I'd love to see
that
some
would be a
like
good time.
really awesome bands come here to the States. Otherwise, I'm buying like a fucking sick ticket to like somewhere else and making a
Yeah,
vacation
come
out
to
of it.
Australia. Come
Oh,
down under.
I say this every time I have an Australian band on. I'd love to come to Australia. I am just an Australian stan, I feel like it's gonna happen. I think I'll take we'll take audio addiction worldwide, so I'm excited.
Worldwide.
That would be
We'll
so
take
sick.
them.
Who wants, if
Agreed.
somebody wants to fund my trip, that'd be sick, so We'll start now.
Alright, we'll find me
Uh,
camping you in the
I
comments.
would love that. That would be. I think I would cry. I think I'd actually cry. I mean, and I have cried on the channel, so I feel like if anything, I'd cry more. For your generosity. So thank you if you do. But the next question for you, Emmy, what are you listening to more currently? What's on your Spotify? What are you listening to more on a daily basis?
Oh, man. Well, I mean, yeah, the new, Pierce the Veil record is freaking
Oh,
amazing.
okay.
I've been rolling that one pretty hard. Like, lots of, like, kinda, like, been getting into a lot of Bad Omens.
Oh, yeah.
Love Bad Omens. What else have I been listening to? I feel like I'm just gonna open my Spotify and just see what I've been jamming.
Yeah, there's this really cool band called Redhook. They released a new album called Postcards from a Living Hell. I
You
think that
know
one's
what?
really that's on top right now.
I've listened to, like, I've got this Spotify playlist that's just our set list because I, like, warm up before we play a show.
Uh,
So it's so embarrassing, like, when my Spotify Wrapped comes out at the end of the year, it's, like,
just
all
you
my
at the
own
top.
stuff, and I never share it because I'm like, people are gonna think that I'm, like, such a narcissistic loser, but I'm not doing it for enjoyment, I'm just doing it to practice.
I don't think so. I always find that the biggest compliment for a band is if they listen to themselves. And I know
Mm,
that statement in and of itself is inherently a little narcissistic, but I think I think if you're in a band and you're making music that you really love, then why the hell would you not listen to your own music? I feel like that's like, you're putting something out there that you know you would love.
exactly.
I think that's a great selling point. So hopefully you'll take
Totally.
up my heed of advice, Emmy, and post your Red Hook as number one for this year.
Alright. I'll cop it. I'll cop the embarrassment.
I'll make sure to come to the comments of whatever you posted on it and be like, no, this is approved. This is
Yeah,
thumbs up. This is big energy that we
audio
love.
addiction approved.
This is audio. You get my stamp of approval. I don't care what anybody says. I'll fight everyone on the internet. Um, I love that. I feel like for me, it's like I said, that is the biggest selling point for at least for bands. Like, if I have like friends on and they're like, "Yeah, I listen to my music," I'm like, "Fuck yeah, that's awesome. That's so sick." That's because you believe in it that much that you would listen to it. You know, like
Yeah,
and I think it's even better because it's like you listen to the song from like its infancy all the way to like the final product, and if you still love it at the end,
yeah,
like thousands upon thousands of listens, like that has to mean something. I mean, come on, like
totally,
that's
totally.
champion moves right there. So I don't know. That's my 2 cents, guys. You can let me know.
Yeah, I back that. I back that.
Okay, cool. Well, listen, Emmy and I got each other's back, so just remember we're the tag team on the tag team on the internet here. So just remember that. But the next question I have for you, Emmy, is a fun one. If you guys could pick a song to cover, what would it be?
Ooh, that's a good one. I've actually been thinking about this a bit.
Oh,
Um,
time to
I
read it
really want to
out.
do. We used to do this live heavy cover of Super Bass by Nicki Minaj, and I really want to record that because it was so much fucking fun.
Do you do the rap parts?
Hells yeah, I do.
Oh, okay. Excuse me.
With
All
a
right.
few, like, with a few lyrical edits, because there's some words in there that I should never say, but,
Okay.
like, it's,
Fair enough.
it's like a wholesome version.
Okay. I like that. That would be wow. All right. That would have been one that I would have expected you guys to play live. So I think that I like that one. I feel like if I had to throw my hat in the rink, hmm. I feel like you guys could do like a Demi song, like a Demi Lovato song, like one of her
Oh,
newer
Demi's
songs.
awesome. Yeah,
I
yeah,
feel like
yeah.
you could do it.
That new record actually pumps. I really
Oh,
enjoyed
it's
that.
great. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like you could do a song off her new album. I think that would be
Oh, man.
I think you guys could
I don't
rock
even,
it.
like, she's such an incredible vocalist. I'd just be scared that I wouldn't be able to do it justice. I
You would
kinda wanna
crush.
do, if we do a cover, I think we usually do Limp Bizkit's Break Stuff in our
Oh,
set, which is always a fun time, like, love a bit of new metal.
oh, that's
Um,
great.
and we've only recorded one cover, like, properly, which was, Rage Against the Machine's Guerrilla Radio, which was
Oh,
also a fucking good time.
man. great choices. I love that.
Mm.
I feel like the Limp Bizkit one would be interesting. But the Super Bass one got me. That one was the one I think that one's the left field one. I don't know if I would have
Yeah,
ever placed that.
I
So,
love it, like, I love that, like, punk goes pop shit, like, where you
oh,
take, like,
yes.
a pop song and just make it heavy. Oh, so good.
There we go, guys. Well, if you do have any suggestions, or if you want to vote for Super Bass, you can definitely do that. But if you do have any suggestions, drop them in the comments. I can't guarantee if they would do it or not, but I feel like Emmy would check. At least, at the very least.
Totally.
So,
So
so,
open to suggestions.
so there you go. Drop them down below. But the next question I have for you, Emmy, another fun one. What is your favorite food to eat?
Ooh, that is a strong question. Man, my favorite food.
Is it a very loaded question for you? Are you a foodie?
I love food. Like, I'm
Oh,
not, like,
okay.
fancy. Like, I am not fancy. Like, I'm actually the opposite of fancy. Like, I love,
The
like, just,
trash.
like, a filthy yeah, the trash, like, a filthy, like, mac and cheese or, like, I don't know, this is, like, I think this is an Australian thing, but, like, just, like, just, like, a good, like, meat pie. Like a pie.
Oh, okay,
Like,
yeah,
pie and tomato sauce. Oh,
I got
good
you,
time.
yeah, I got you,
Yeah.
yeah. I've had a fair share of Australian bands on here, and they have been petitioning me to make a chicken parmy. So I'll have to
Oh, pie,
yeah,
yeah.
I'm gonna have to do it. Now I feel like there's enough Australian bands to petition for me to like there's enough pitchforks and enough fire for me to just be like, "Shit, I gotta make it." So,
There's
guys
there's actually there's, like, a bit like, the whole, so chicken parmy, chicken parmigiana. There's actually a big sort of cultural divide in Australia that people get very, very, aggressive about their beliefs on this, whether it's a Parmi or a Palmer. And I think it's
Oh,
like a Sydney versus Melbourne thing. I don't know where the rest of the country fits in, but people get like very emotional about this topic, whether it's Palmy or Palmer. Like I think it's ended friendships. Um,
what? Nah.
yeah,
Oh my
literally,
god.
it's a big deal.
I
It's a
hope I
big deal.
don't
The
start a
Palmy
war.
yeah. So I'm just giving you fair warning. So
Okay.
tread carefully, just in case you make some enemies.
Wow. I like how in the entire interview Emmy has just been like nothing but fun. But this very moment in the interview you could tell the sheer seriousness of the
Like,
matter.
you're in danger.
Uh,
You may be opening up Pandora's box here.
oh my god. Well, guys, don't kill me. I would appreciate that. You can put your pitchforks down. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna make the Australian, the classic. There's plenty of stuff that I would love to try from Australia. Apparently, I haven't tried pickle beetroot, which you guys put on your burgers, which I think is very interesting.
Pickled beetroot. Man, I don't know. That sounds too fancy for me. I just have normal beetroot. Oh wait, pickled beetroot. Oh, maybe that's just the normal way that we eat beetroot, just out of a can.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
that's
That's
pickled. See, I'm a I'm really stupid. I don't even know. That's just I was just like, yeah, all beetroot comes in a can. That's where beetroot comes
Yeah,
from.
I had the Atomic Bow Project on recently, and they were saying like, oh yeah,
Uh,
they're great, love them, shouts, but
mm,
they were like, oh yeah, you put the pickled beetroot onto the sandwich. I was like, what is that? I need to know
yeah.
what. And so I had Googled it, and it's real. So I feel
Oh,
like
it's
that
real.
is only, like, in Australia, like, that area, so I'm gonna have to find out something about that and try it out. I
Yeah,
feel like
you
there's
come
so
here,
many
we'll make a Aussie burger with pickled beetroot. It's a good
Well,
time.
what was that,
I'm partial.
Emmy?
I said, when you come to Australia, we'll make sure we make you like an Aussie beef burger with pickled, complete with pickled beetroot. It's
Okay.
a good time. I really enjoy a bit of beetroot on a burger.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm glad it gets the Emmy seal of approval. I will not try to, again, make any enemies with the chicken. I'm just gonna say chicken parmesan because I'm American, so that's it. Well, we're just gonna leave it at that. You guys let me know if I should make it, but I think I'm gonna have to try my hand at it. I feel like I'm a decently adequate home cook, so I feel like I'm opted to take the challenge up. So let me know. Follow me on Instagram. I'm sure I'll post it there and make a lot of enemies. So very excited. Uh, the uh, the next question I have for you, Emmy, is obviously you had a lot of great features. You have yours truly, Sly Withers. Shout outs to the boys in the Fame. I've also had them on. I love those guys. They're fantastic. If you guys watch this, I miss you guys so much. Come back to the States. I would love to have you. But they were awesome. I had them. I interviewed them in Philly as well too. So big salutes. But
Oh,
um,
awesome.
how did you guys go about finding these features? Were Because I always find it interesting with bands that have features on their album, like how methodical the process is, or how they kind of go about finding these people to fit onto the songs that ultimately end up on the album. So were these three bands like your first choices in regards to having the features on the songs, or did you feel like they were the right fit for these songs and you're like, we have to ask them?
Yeah, well, I mean, we're with yours truly and the Fame. Um, they're just both very, very dear friends of ours who we love very
Oh,
much,
that's
respect so
awesome.
much. And so we just like with those songs, like they were always the like Josh and Michaela were who we wanted on those songs because we just knew that, you know, they would make them even better than they were, and they did. So yeah, we were stoked on that. Sly Withers, we didn't know those boys personally before this, but
Mhm.
they're a really, I mean, they're such a successful band here in Australia. And for Soju, the song that they featured on, because it's a real pop punk, like it's kind of like the pop punk
Oh,
moment
okay,
on the
okay,
EP. We're
yeah.
just full pop punk with that song, plus like a saxophone and like a live track
Oh,
crowd singing some other weird shit. But but we just thought it'd be cool. To like sort of shake things up a little bit because and get them on a pop punk song which they
yeah,
haven't really done before, and they were so keen like because yeah it's something they always wanted to do as well, so it was just a really good fit and just get like yeah just brought a completely different like Jono's voice is amazing. He has such a charismatic like iconic sound in the way that he sings and the tone of his voice. um and yeah, it just really just gave this song a like even more character, and I love it. It was kind of like a mad science experiment because we weren't sure how it would sound, but I'm
sure.
so stoked with how it came out.
That's awesome. I again, shout outs to yours truly and the Fame. Obviously had the Fame on. Yours truly, I would love to have you on. I know you guys are coming to the States, so we can make it happen.
They're there right now.
I would be keen. I
I
know,
was
I
in the
saw
airport
that.
with them yesterday.
So, Michaela, that'd be sick. I don't know. I'm gonna hit up your press, somebody, whoever. I'm gonna find it.
Do
Gonna
it.
do some cyber sleuthing. But they're great. And then Sly Withers I had not heard of, so I'm definitely gonna go check them out after obviously the album review, but I will also check them out as an artist because I always love different vibes, different things for me. So obviously have heard of the Fame and yours truly. So I feel like I want to kind of do my research on Sly Withers. So if you haven't already, go check them out. I don't live in Australia, so I didn't know how popular they were, but apparently they're very big. So
They're a
kudos.
big deal. They're a
They're a
big
big
deal.
deal. Big deals. We love that. But the next question, Emmy, kind of to segue into that next question I have for you is if there was somebody that you could have as another dream guest on an up and coming Red Hook album or song, is there anybody that you would just absolutely die to work with?
Oh my gosh, like that list is so long. Oh, oh, where to begin? I'd love, 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 love to collab with Ollie and Jordan from Bring Me. That would be so sick. And yeah, like imagine like or like Billie Eilish, that would be
Oh,
incredible. Like, imagine getting her on like a heavy song. That would be so sick.
well, she's
Um
not she's not averse to that. I don't know if you saw the headline, but she was watching Knock Loose at Coachella.
yes,
And I was like,
totally.
"Yo, I mean, that's big. I mean,
Mhm.
that's some
Yeah, she goes hardcore. Yeah.
I mean, it's not
Ah,
out of the realm, you know. So I think that could happen, you know. So I'm a firm believer in manifestation. So guys, while we'll move on to the next question, but while that's happening, I'm gonna go take my phone out and tweet. at Redhook collaboration with Bring Me the Horizon X Billie Eilish. Type in the word collab question mark, and
Damn.
I if it's on the internet, there's a good chance it could be real. So if you want to make it a reality, just make sure to hit that retweet button. That'd be kind of sick. Just saying. I'm not forcing you to do it, but I mean, I feel like Emmy would be very, very keen, and that's all I'm saying.
Let's look. Crazier shit has happened in the world.
Crazier shit. Yeah, you listen. Knock Loose plays Coachella, so I feel like anything's on the books right
Really
now.
possible.
So let's make it happen. I think that would be the collab of the century, if you ask me. So, but the next question, Emmy, is a fun one. If obviously you do vocals, but if there is another musical instrument you could master, what would it be?
I wish that I could just shred guitar. That would be so sick. But I've got like nerve damage in my left hand, so
Oh,
it doesn't really my I have no like fine motor skills in my left hand, which I used to be able to play piano like not amazingly, but just like I was competent at it.
sure,
But
sure.
now, yeah,
Oh,
can't do it. So I'm just the one hander.
that's
Is
all
there like
right.
is there a way to play guitar one handed? That'd be sick.
Now that I think about
Just
it, I
get
guess
somebody else with
you
a
could
left
play like
hand.
slide guitar. You could play like a
Yeah.
lap
But
steel
just
or
put it with my
something.
face, just like with
Yeah,
my tongue.
yeah, you can. Yeah, or you play
I'm
with
saying guitar.
your feet. Your feet. Yeah, that would be. I mean, that'd be very interesting. I don't know how you do that, but I would give you a lot of kudos if you were able to do that. So,
Mm.
um, but the next question I have for you, Emmy, is my personal favorite. As I mentioned to you before, I'm a huge nerd, but I'm also a huge nerd about video games. So, if you could be a video game character, who would you be?
Man, okay, so I'm sorry that you are asking this question to me. This kind of I feel like Ned or
That
Craig
was
would be a
great. Yeah.
way better answer to this question because I don't play a lot of video games. I haven't played a lot of video games since I was a kid,
Oh, fair enough.
playing Nintendo GameCube.
Ah,
But
okay.
dude, who was my I used to love like I always used to play as Yoshi and I would get really pissed off if anyone else like shotgun Yoshi before I could. Um
Respect.
Yoshi's cool, man. He's real cute. I mean, yeah, I'd just be like I'd just be Yoshi the dinosaur just walking around like on that, the old Super Mario Party games and like it was
Oh,
just like a
yeah.
giant birthday cake I always used to get so hungry playing that game because I was like, this cake looks so good and I'm walking around on it, but I don't have any cake to eat.
I got you.
So that I'm sorry, that was such a good answer for your favorite question.
No,
I hope
no,
I
no, no.
haven't you, but
I
that's
I think that that's great, and also, shout outs to Yoshi, my guy, you know, poignantly picked here.
oh
I
boy.
love that. The boy. No, I feel like musicians are either in one camp. There's no in between. You either are like a nerd about everything or you're a nerd about like just music. So I feel
Oh,
like
yeah.
sometimes
Well,
that's how it is.
I'm a massive nerd, but just not with video games. I'm more just
That's that's
like
fair.
movies and like pop culture references and TV shows.
Would you want to replace like a movie? Would you want to replace a movie star? Is there any like character within a movie you feel like you would want to like live the life of?
Oh, dude, like, oh, this. I don't think this. My answer to this question has changed since I was a kid, but I just wanted to be the kid in like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, just going to the chocolate factory and just hanging with the Oompa
Yeah,
Loompas and
that's
swimming
true.
in the chocolate river and
That's a good. I mean, I think that's a good one, but that's also like a huge recipe for like diabetes. So I feel like
oh shit.
it's a catch 22.
Yeah, I'd have
You'll
to
have
roll
enough
my
candy for a lifetime, but I'm pretty sure you'll be a diabetic. So hey, it's give and
You know
take,
what?
unfortunately.
Worth it. You know how hard it is to get into that chocolate factory? That place is a fortress.
That's true. Yeah. If you're gonna die, you might as well die being a diabetic, just
Yeah,
swimming in the chocolate river. So
Whew,
That's great. That was a good one. I think I might have to add that to as a backup question in case people aren't
as
as
a backup.
yeah,
Yeah.
that'll be a next up question. But I love that. Loved your answer too. Despite like I could feel my all of my organs started to seize up. But
Oh, we're just
uh,
doing backflips.
the next question I have for you, Emmy, is if you were to compile a dream tour lineup including Redhook, who would you just absolutely love to go on tour with?
Oh man, I would I would love to go on tour with My Chemical Romance.
Oh,
We were supposed to be playing Download Festival here in Australia with them, and I was dying of excitement. And then that was just before COVID reared its ugly head.
oh,
And so that got cancelled. So that sadly didn't get to happen. But I'm still holding out hope that one day we will get to play a show
oh, my
with my
heart.
camp. That would just be dream come true. Absolute dream come true.
That's oh man, that hurts my soul. I feel that one's a rough one.
Mm.
As someone who is a former New Jerseyan, like that's arguably one of the biggest bands from New Jersey, in my life. So I feel like I gotta give him a lot of respect. If I was able to get my Kim on the channel, oh, I think I would. I think I
Oh my
would. I'd
goodness.
piss myself silly if I had that opportunity. So I'd be stoked. I'd be running
Redhook.
around my apartment just screaming. I'd be doing the wailing. So, but yeah, I hope that you get a second chance at that because that would be amazing. And then I would fly to Australia for that. So,
Yes. Oh my
my Chem,
god.
come on, listen. As a
Mm.
former, as us, us New Jerseyans have to stick together. So like, I don't know. I have a little pull, so I feel like
Yeah. Come on,
we
Micah.
kind of sick. We're like basically like neighbors. So it's great.
Yeah. Do it for the home team.
Yeah, do it. Yeah, just do it. It's great. Um, Next question, Emmy. In your opinion, who puts on a great live performance? I know there's a lot of great Australian bands out there, but what band just sticks out to you? You see them live, and you're just like in awe of their live performance.
Oh man. There is yeah, we're so blessed here in Australia. Like there are so many incredible bands. I saw, do you know North Lane?
Oh, I just saw them. Yeah, I just saw them
Yeah,
maybe
that's
like a
right. They
month
just came
ago, something like
back
that.
in the US.
Oh,
Yeah, they're
crushed.
always incredible. They're always incredible. Their live show is just like next level. And Marcus's vocals are just like jaw-droppingly
Oh,
insane. Like
so
he's
good.
such a talented man. It's ridiculous. Yeah, they're so good. Another band, sort of a heavier band, is Alpha Wolf.
Oh,
And,
just saw
and
them
they're
too. They were great.
yeah, oh look,
Crushed.
it's looking them all up. Yeah, they're freaking amazing. Um, Far out. I feel like I've seen so many bands lately that have just blown me. Like we recently saw Architects. They were so
Oh,
fucking good.
yeah.
Spirit Box. Oh, just
Oh,
don't even get me started. Like it's a good time. Like it's yeah, it's a good time to be a heavy music fan. I
oh
think
yeah.
there's so many fucking awesome bands out there just ripping it. It's very inspiring.
Oh, 100%. And Red Hook is very much on that list, and it should be on all of your lists because I think you know, I personally feel like, I have a good track record. I think they have what it takes. I think they are a band that if you don't see them blow up in the next 6 months, I'll be very surprised. So I'm just saying, I'm putting it out there now. I've done it before and I've been right. So I'm just telling you, there's something about it that I don't know. I get that like funny feeling sometimes. So I'm just saying, they blow up. Come back to me and tell me I'm wrong. I'd love for you to tell me I'm
Well,
wrong. I'm putting it out there, man. I think
you
it's
don't blow up like literally because
not physically blow up. I mean, like
not.
popularity. I just want to
Mm,
just I want to make sure that's clear with everyone. They are not
mm.
physically going to explode. I think their popularity as a band is going to blow up. So there you go. Just in case there was any discourse on that. Just here we are. But yeah, I
Oh,
I love them. I did see North Lane and I saw Alpha Wolf together on the same tour. They were out with Fit for a King and Kingdom of Giants in the States here. And I had never seen Alpha Wolf They were crushing it. I think they were one of the best bands I think I've seen live in quite a hot minute. And North
Mm.
Lane, great band. I have seen them before, but this was the first time I saw them with Marcus. And little backstory about Marcus for me, I listened to his old band Sounds of Season, and
Oh, oh,
I loved his first project so much, and I was like, oh man, what is he gonna be doing next? And then he auditioned for North Lane, and then he wound up being in North Lane. Now, obviously he's in North Lane still, and he just crushes. So Marcus,
yeah,
man, just a
so
gem.
much, so much respect to that man. He's incredible.
Killing it, killing it. Well, you know who else is killing it? Red Hook. You should. They're awesome. Listen, how many times do I have to show about them? A lot, and I'm gonna probably continue to do so throughout this video. So I hope you don't get tired of it. But the next question I have for you, Emmy, is what is your favorite movie, favorite TV show?
Ooh, that is a tough one. I think I'm gonna have to go with. Can I have equal favorite?
Absolutely.
Two favorite movies of all time. Equal favorite: Jurassic Park, the OG, and Die Hard, the OG.
Oh,
They're my two. They're my
great.
two.
I love that.
And TV show, that's also really, really hard. Um, like, I mean, I grew up like obsessed with Buffy the Vampire Slayer, so that is
Yeah,
like
that
written
checks.
deeply into my DNA. Um, but I also love like, oh man, like all those like sort of like Parks and Rec and
Oh
The Good
yeah.
Place, and just all those like really, really like beautiful comedies that have so much heart just make me just so happy to be alive. Like
Oh
it's
yeah.
yeah, they also have a really special place in my heart.
I love those. I love those shows. One of my favorite shows of all time is Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I love that
Oh,
show.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Ah,
No, no.
9-9. Yeah, let's go. I knew Emmy. I knew Emmy had some good taste. So that's one to vibe with. As well as I love Community. I
Oh,
don't know if Australia
Community is the best.
Community is
I
great.
love Community.
They
It's so, so
supposedly have a movie coming out. I don't
I know,
know.
6 seasons in a movie.
Hopefully soon, soon. I did watch an interview of Donald Glover, and he said they're working on it, quote unquote. So I don't
Oh,
know
I
how
love
long it's gonna
that.
be, but I still think it's gonna happen, and I'm excited for when that movie drops because I'm gonna be going to see it. So
Oh,
very
me
excited about it.
too. Front
Uh,
and center, baby. That'd be sick.
the next question I have for you, Emmy, if you were trapped on a desert island for the next month and there was one album with you could bring with you to listen to, what album would that be?
A desert island. See, because my immediate thought would be Welcome to the Black Parade, My Cam.
Oh,
I feel like if I was trapped on a desert island, do I know that it's only going to be 1 month, or am I like not sure?
I
Because I
love
feel like
how I love
I'd
when
be
people
feeling
ask me
very
this.
yeah.
I love when people give me a rebuttal to it. They're like, "Yeah, so are we like trapped here? Is this like a vacation? Like what's the mood? What's the vibe?" I think it's like if you just were transported to an island for 1 month, you had enough. I'm not gonna kill you. You have enough food and supplies to survive, but it's just like a good, enjoyable time. Like obviously, you can be a little
Yeah,
emo
okay.
about it,
Do you know
but
what? Maybe actually, do you know what? Maybe I forgot to mention, I just completely mind blanked when you asked me what I'd be listening to. But like Electric Callboys album Techno is
oh
just so fucking good. And all the songs on there are just like such hype tracks. Like they're just such like pump up, feel good, just fucking like, yeah, it's so
yeah,
good. So I feel like that'd be a good vibe. Like I think that'd keep me sort of perked up if I was getting, rather than just like, with Welcome to the Black Parade, just embracing the emo ness. I think like let's go with Electric Callboy.
I love that. And also, funnily enough, that was one that I also forgot, but I did mention in my reaction video. I feel like you guys pull from that Electric Callboy like sense of like melody
Oh, we
styling.
love
So
them. Yeah.
so I was look, I'm 5 for 5, guys. That's all I'm telling you. Listen, I've got it.
I know you've
It
been reading
only
my diary.
it
Like, what the
only took
fuck?
me 7 years, but I've got it though now. So I'm telling you. I'm on point this year. I just want to tell you what's good. But the last thing, Emmy, as much as I'd love to talk to you, I'm sure you would love to enjoy your release day. Thank you for spending the time. Obviously, the time zones were not very much in our favor, but here we are.
We did
But
it. We got
we
there.
did it. We made it happen. So um, I wanted to ask my final question. I love asking this question. Is probably arguably more of a favorite than my video game question, as much as that one, hurt to say a little bit. Um, but I have been doing music interviewing for roughly a little over 7 years now. I love doing it. I hope that people kind of see my passion of doing this and having different artists on here every time they watch a video. But I love asking this to people who do music and make it. Why is it important to you? Why do you spend your blood, sweat, tears, the amount of hours, like the time it takes to put into an album or be in a band is a lot of work, and it's a lot of stress and a lot of other things that come along with that anxiety, I'm sure. But what continues to motivate you to put out music and be a musician and share yourself with other people, because it's a difficult thing. So I want to know why that's important to you.
Well, I think the answer for me is kind of like a two-parter. Because
Sure.
the first reason is a bit selfish because to me, like music and writing songs is just a huge catharsis and huge part of how I process
Hmm.
all the shit things that have ever happened to me in my life. And it's just like it's just my like I really like it's cliche to say, but it's so true. Like it's my therapy. Like it
Sure.
really
Yeah.
is. And but by extension of that, when I was growing up, music was always like, I mean, I feel like this is something that a lot of people like us who listen to sort of heavier music kind of share. It's like
Sure.
music's more to us than something that we just listen to for shits and giggles. You know, it's part of our DNA.
Oh yeah.
We can like pinpoint important moments in our life to like different albums or different songs or different artists and different experiences. And they're such important parts of our lives. They're parts of who we are. And
Yeah.
for me, when I was growing up, every time, I went through, tough times or like was, depressed or whatever,
Hmm.
there was music and my favorite artists were always there to help me through that. And I credit it so much for that, and like music has that power to help you when you're feeling alone or feeling like a freak. It's there to sort of help make it better.
Yeah.
And um it's so important for me because it's kind of like paying it back, like
Yeah.
music gave that to me when I needed it. And now it's such a privilege for me to be able to do that for other people with Redhook.
Yeah.
And it's, yeah, and never take that for granted.
No, I love that. I think that's we ride in a similar mantra, like I think I as, starting this channel, like I felt like I needed a reason to give back to the bands that I love
Mhm.
and that really supported me. I there's I imagine a lot of people that watch these videos, feel like some sort of outcast, and I think that the community, the like alternative community, really invites everyone, and I still feel that to be true. And I probably will die on that hill very much so, but
I'll be
there is
right
a
there with you.
there awesome. Well, I think that there's just this sense of community that is unlike any other genre of music. And so I feel like for me, I always want to be able to promote that, and I also hope that people reach out to me. I think it's like we go through this life and feel like we're one person in this whole thing, but once you see an artist speaking about some of the things that go on in their lives, and you're able to resonate with those things. So I think it brings that sort of level of like, oh, this person's going through this, like, oh, Emmy experienced this, like I feel a lot of like, I feel a lot of connection with that, and that's great. So I hope that people really um get acquainted with Red Hook, because I think the musicality is great, and I'm excited to delve more into like the lyricism as I go through and listen to the album a little bit more. But I'm very excited about that, and I also have to ask Emmy for like people that have seen you at shows and stuff, how does it feel as being like the vocalist and having people come up to you at a show and say like, "Oh my God, like this song really like helped me out in a dark time" or something like that? I'm sure that means a lot to you and I'm
Mm.
sure the rest of your band as well. I don't want to discount them at all, but like I'm sure it means a lot to have other people like singing your lyrics back to you or like coming up to you and again having that sort of experience.
Uh,
What does that mean to you?
it means everything to me, and I have routinely been, uh, you know, half bawling my eyes out on stage.
Sure. Yeah.
Recently when we especially Jabberwocky off the album, like we played these festivals at the end of last year here in Australia, Good Things with Bring Me the Horizon actually headlined.
Hey, there you go.
And like having hundreds of people sing that song back to me was just I have no words.
Yeah.
It was so beautiful and so special, and I was an emotional mess. But
As you should. Yeah.
it's the most powerful thing in the whole world. It's crazy. I don't think I will ever get used to it.
Yeah. Well, I think that's good. Well, and I think and like I said, the musicality is what really drew me into your band, and I think that the lyricism will continue on my love of what Red Hook's doing. So very excited. Obviously, the last thing I'm going to say to you, Emmy, is I'm gonna put the floor to you. Tell people where they can find Red Hook at. Tell them where they can pick the album up out because it's out now, and that's awesome. And everybody can physically
Yeah.
buy it, or you can digitally stream it,
Yeah, we got
whatever.
vinyls, baby. We're a vinyl band now. We got but at we are Red Hook on all the social platforms or www.weareredhook.com. The album's called Postcard from a Living Hell, and you can find it wherever you stream your tunes. Thank you so much for listening. We love. And oh yeah, where what it the description.
Yeah,
There's links in the description. Is that yep?
yeah.
Yep, I read that right.
You did it. Emmy's a YouTuber now. I've officially deemed her a
I am a
YouTuber.
on the interwebs.
Well, I wanted to give a shout out to I think it's Eder. Eder. I have a
I
very
yeah, she's
poor
the
time
best.
pronunciating names, but she's awesome. Big salutes to Cosa Nostra. They're awesome. Go check them out. They're great people too. But listen, you need to check out Red Hook. I will also leave a link for the live album review. Check that out. Come listen to it with me I mean, obviously it would already happen by the time this comes out, but you can still enjoy the live aspect of it and then comment down below and let me know what your favorites are from the album. Postcards from a Living Hell is out now. You can check the links in the description to go pick it up. If you're a physical, like vinyl person like me, tangible, you like having the album, go pick it up. I'm sure they would appreciate the support. If you live in Australia, they'll also be going out on tour and hitting hopefully your neck of the woods, or whatever the equivalent of that is in Australian. I don't know. So you let me know what that is. But yeah, go check them out. They're going out with our good homies, Bellhaven. I love them. Dave, salutes. Love you. And hopefully they'll be coming to the States next year. I don't know. I would love that. That would be amazing.
Fingers
So
crossed.
I'm fingers crossed, and I hope it happens. If you enjoyed this interview, share it, like it, subscribe. It does go a long way. And huge thanks to Emmy for coming on tonight. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you so much for hanging out with me. It's been so much fun.
All right, Emmy.